we get set to cap off All-Star Race Weekend here at Charlotte Motor Speedway with our 4th annual running of the Hersheys Cup Series All-Star Race event. Our biggest field to date, 35 drivers set to participate in this one. 31 of them raced their way in via a win after last season's All-Star race and at the beginning of this season prior to this All-Star race. 4 drivers raced their way in yesterday's Hersheys Shootout heat races. The 2 winners, Austin LaPlante, the winner of Heat 1, Chris Darlington, the winner of Heat 2, rolling off from 32nd and 33rd. And then the 2 drivers who finished second in those respective heats, Kyle Matthews, second in Heat 1, David Culpepper, second in Heat 2, will roll off from 34th and 35th. Anthony McCrury, fastest in our qualifying session here a couple of days ago with a 29.953, blowing anybody else's lap time out of the water. Will line up on the pole position, the defending Daytona 500 winner and a former winner of the Coke 600 back in Season 2 at this very racetrack, looking for his first All-Star race win of his career. Alongside of him, Benjamin Miles, who was tied actually with Daniel Olson for the fastest lap before McCrury's run, but due to the fact that he is higher in the point standings than Olson is, Benjamin Miles is going to be starting on the outside of the front row. Olson will start in 3rd. Let's go down trackside and get the command.
Drivers, start your engines!
Getting ready for what's going to be a wild one here tonight. 100 laps in total. 40 laps for segment 1, 40 laps for segment 2, and 20 laps for segment 3. Any driver that DNFs in segments 1 or 2 will not move on to the future segments. And basically, if you continue on, you finish off the lead lap, you get a reprieve. In the next segment, you're back on the lead lap, and there is a break in between each one of these segments for drivers to be able to come to pit road, try and get their cars repaired and get them up to speed to still be able to compete. So basically for these first 2 segments, it's just all about surviving. But here's the difference. In this All-Star race, if you win segment 1, you get 10 bonus points in the overall point standings. If you win segment 2, you get 10 bonus points in the overall standings. If you win the All-Star race, you get 50 bonus points for the point standings, plus $1 million check. And I think these drivers are all going to want to get that here this evening. So a little bit more on the line here in this All-Star race. We're going to have to see who wants it more. Pace car dives to pit road. We are moments away from getting them green. First segment, 40 laps of racing, 10 bonus points on the line. Green flags out. We're underway in our 4th annual Hersheys Cup Series All-Star Race. McCrury out in front. Miles was able to tuck in line in 2nd. That was a smart move by the driver of the 25. And now he's going to use that to his momentum. He's going to dive to the inside of McCrury. Battle for the lead through 3. Benjamin Miles Dodge Dart going to forge out in front, and he will lead the first lap of this season's All-Star Race event. Now they're kind of settled out, and I say settled out even though they're double wide, several rows deep, because we saw a lot of 3 wide action yesterday in the 2 heat races for the Hersheys Shootout. You gotta wonder how long it's going to take for them to decide to get 3 wide in this one, as Tyler Deaver, who was the fastest in practice, now tucks in line in 2nd place. McCrury now back to 3rd with Charles Jackson there in 4th, and McCrury now going to step out on Tyler Deaver for the 2nd position. And they are 3 wide further back. That is Cole Deaver stuck in the middle. Matt Haas at the bottom, Shelton going to follow him there. Cody Smart rim riding it on the high side. And they may go 3 wide further up here. Garrett Sydnor looks like he's going to try and make the move 3 wide, put McCrury in the middle. Tyler Deaver now stuck to the outside line in this 3 wide battle for 2nd. Tyler Deaver in the wall. Jackson nearly turned him. They save it. We're still green. One car playing the strategy of just waiting it out. Cat Tellier She's not lost the pack, but she is running a ways behind them. Smart strategy on her part. David Culpepper appears to be adapting that strategy as well, but they are racing tooth and nail up here at the front. Garrett Sydnor currently sits in second. McCrury hounding him for that spot. Tyler Deaver in tow. Deaver, who at that point of the track right there 1 lap ago was nearly wrecked, and they're going to maybe go 3 wide for second again. McCrury up the middle, Deaver on the bottom, Sydnor way up top side as they continue to battle for second behind Benjamin Miles. Oh, trouble in the back! Trouble in the back, somebody is spun. I couldn't tell if the caution has come out yet or not, but there was some smoke at the rear of the field, and the yellow flag is indeed going to come out for the first time here tonight in the All-Star race on lap number 5. It looked like it was near the rear of the field. I couldn't see who exactly it was. It was just barely in shot. We'll line them all up and do it again. There you see the skid mark. Somebody looks like got turned off of 2 and then spun it down the back straightaway. Let's see who it was. And it was Zachary Stultz and Henry Nova appearing to be the reason for this caution. A couple of non-chartered drivers who raced their way into this. There you see Cat Taylor and David Culpepper. They got through it. And now, being a 40-lap event, we may end up having to have pit stops here. And it looks like Benjamin Miles will give up the lead to come to pit road. A couple other drivers looked like they were indicating they were coming to pit lane as well. Seth Cole's coming in. Kyle Matthews, who started at the rear of the field, he's going to come down pit road. James Richardson is also in. So, looks like Tim Walsh is also coming to the pit lane as well. Cody Smart is in. David Culpepper and a number of others. Henry Nova and Zachary Stultz probably down to repair damage. So that will turn the race lead over to Anthony McCrury, the pole sitter, who leads us under our first caution of the day, or the night I should say, here at Charlotte. Let's look back at a replay. Well, it was near the rear of the field, and we're going to focus on the 86 of Zachary Stultz. He might get a little help from Trent Dunham. Dunham's on the inside of him. Oh, it looks like Stultz tried to tuck back down in line in front of Trent Dunham to maybe go to the inside of Cole Deaver, and Trent was already there. So there's nothing that Trent did wrong. Stultz just didn't realize he wasn't clear. A little bit of contact there for Cody Smart. Nowhere for Henry Nova to go. And Charles Sanford does a nice job avoiding, as does Culpepper and Cat Tellier. Culpepper may have gotten a tiny bit of that on the passenger side door, but I don't think he got much. And that was basically right there the only 2 drivers that really sustained any damage at all. Don't know how extensive it is, if either of them will be able to continue or not, but Stultz and Nova bring out our first caution of the evening here in the All-Star race. The lights are out atop the Dodge Charger pace car. We'll go back green on lap 10 of 40. So gives 31 laps remaining in this segment. Anthony McCrury inheriting the lead after Benjamin Miles gives up the top position to come to pit lane. So if this thing goes green now, the interesting thing is, can these drivers make it on fuel that decided to stay out? This could play into Benjamin Miles' hand if we go into a green flag run, but apparently these drivers up front don't expect we're going to be under the green flag for the remainder of this segment. McCrury with the lead. Tyler Deaver will line up second. Garrett Sydnor third. James McLeod is going to restart in fourth, with Daniel Gilbert fifth, and it's Caitlin Sang, Matt Haas, Charles Jackson, JT Bryant, and Dallas McIntosh. So we've seen how some drivers that were starting near the rear of the field, McIntosh actually started back, I believe it was in the 31st position, has worked his way and now up to 10th. So this is a track where you can pick up positions if you've got a good enough car and are in the right position at the right time. Henry Nova, Zachary Stultz, they have continued. They're still on the lead lap, so if they can at least just finish out the segment, they will have ample time between stages 1 and 2 to get their cars repaired and try and be up to full speed. As McCrury leads us down, and we'll get ready to go back green once again here in the All-Star race. I looked back under this caution to see about former winners of the All-Star race. 3 All-Star races, 3 different race winners. None of them are in the field here tonight. Season 1, the checkered flag taken by Noah Carnes. He failed to race his way in. Jake Baskinger won it in Season 2. He failed to race his way in, and in Season 3 last year, it was Blaine Keys, and Keys is not in this field here tonight either. So we are guaranteed a brand new All-Star race winner here in the Hersheys Cup Series in Season 4 as the battle for the lead is back on. Garrett Sydnor to the inside of Anthony McCrury. He's got James McLeod in tow with him down low. They're going to move to first and second. Haas says, thank you very much for letting me use you to get by McCrury. Now I'm going to go for the lead myself. McLeod winning earlier on this season at Texas, a 1.5 mile track, and it was a big topic of conversation between myself, Kyle Matthews, and Michael Norman during the single-car qualifying session a couple days ago of would drivers that have won this season already at 1.5 mile tracks like Atlanta, like Texas, have an advantage coming into this race? Well, McLeod's showing it right here as they are 3 wide for the lead, almost 4 wide in the middle of turns 1 and 2. Daniel Gilbert to the point, but here comes Caitlin Sang, Charles Jackson, and our race winner of Heat 2 in the Hershey Shootout yesterday, Chris Darlington, now up in the mix. 3 wide, 2 rows deep. Gilbert leads that lap. They're going to go 3 wide for the lead. Jackson in the bottom, Sang in the middle, Gilbert on the high side. Jackson slips up a little. We nearly wrecked in turn 1. Look at this, 3 wide, 3 rows deep at the front of the field. This isn't Talladega, this isn't Daytona, it's Charlotte, but it's the doggone All-Star race, people. Oh man, I always hate to see him coming off turn 4 3 wide, but somehow turn 4 has not been the trouble spot this entire weekend. Jackson out in front. McIntosh now moves to second. That inside line always seems to get their 2 tires down that white line, gets them squirrely on the apron, and I almost think they're going to slide right back up into traffic as here comes Dallas McIntosh to the bottom. He'll get stuck to the middle. JT Bryant 3 wide on the inside. Jackson into the wall! He hooked McCrury and they saved it! But Jackson's gonna free fall now, losing multiple positions as a result. Bryant to the lead. Fitzwater now into second. He's gonna peak low for the top position out of 2. This is only the first segment. We've still got about 85 laps still to go in this All-Star race, and they're racing like it's the last lap. Fitzwater will take the lead. Here comes Matt McIntire to second place now. Kev Shearer now going to battle with Bryant for third. McCrury nearly loses it there out of 4. Hangs on to her, and we're still green. Nearly got wrecked. I think it was by Benjamin Miles. And somehow, someway, the green flag is still out. We are still racing here at Charlotte. Talked about Chris Darlington winning the second heat of the Hershey Shootout yesterday. Well, winner of the first heat race, Austin LaPlante has now worked his way up into the 4th position. That Boston Market Chevrolet out of WG Motorsports. John Arndt to the bottom looking for the lead. How many lead changes have we had so far tonight? We're only on lap 17. Drivers all racing hard, but they're just basically racing for the end of this stage to be able to transfer into the next stage, not have a DNF in this All-Star race. Whoa, Kev Shearer clobbering the outside line there, clobbering the outside wall, I should say, with that Pittsburgh Pirate Chevrolet, but he keeps it going. We're still racing. I mean, I would expect these drivers to be racing this hard in the closing stages of this segment. No doubt, there's 10 valuable bonus points on the line, but they are racing still like every lap is the last lap. 3 wide at the front again, this time Darlington on the bottom. Tyler Deaver put in the middle. McIntire gets the wall, and he's going to go around off the nose of John Arndt. Caution is going to fly as we've got a big wreck on the front straightaway. I believe they took the caution. Big wreck taking place in the front straightaway. Turn 4 finally lives up to its moniker here at Charlotte. Finally becomes the trouble spot. Oh, Richardson's flying in there. Oh, he just barely slowed down in time. Phil Parker's got some damage on the right side of his Toyota. LaPlante's involved. JT Bryant's engine is gone. Daniel Olson was in it. Matt McIntire was involved. Cat Tellier might have been in it. Some left side damage for Joseph Srigley. John Arndt was the car that I believe hooked around the car that spun. Looks like some damage on 78 of Matt Haas. And this is a caution that a lot of drivers were hoping for that had not come to pit road the last time. Chris Darlington going to lead the whole field down pit lane. How about Benjamin Miles, who gave up the lead under the last caution to come to pit road? He had worked his way up to the 4th position. So those fresh tires definitely worked out for him. We're under caution for the second time here tonight in the All-Star race. Let's take a look and see what happened out of turn 4. To be honest, I cannot believe it took us till lap 18 for something to happen out of turn 4. This was a battle right up at the front of the field. Somewhere just around maybe 4th, 5th, 6th area. McIntire gets the wall, and the reason he got spun was John Arndt was already to his inside out of 4. Otherwise, we might have gotten away with another one and not had the caution come out. McIntire going to spin. John Arndt gets the wall, and then this is where the problem happens. Since the 26 spins back down the track, it blockades up the entire D-shaped front straightaway. Austin LaPlante, nowhere to go. JT Bryant, he's going to get involved. Caitlin Sang's in it. Phil Parker gets hooked. He's going to go right up and bam, right out into the outside wall. Trent Dunham gets a piece of this. Seth Cole gets spun around back there. I think he got spun by Jessica Shelton. Charles Jackson going to get a piece of this as well. Kat Tellier runs into the back of Daniel Olson. And Olson's actually going to spin around. And then right there is where Joseph Srigley's going to get his left side damaged. Tim Walsh comes flying in and gets him in the driver's side door. A lot of times when we have wrecks on the front straightaway, we see a lot of drivers potentially flip over and stuff like that. We didn't have that. To be perfectly honest, I've seen a lot more volatile situations with incidents starting out of turn number 4 and going down the front straightaway. This one was kind of almost a 2 on a scale of 1 to 10 in terms of a lot of hard licks, but it looks like we will have at least one driver that will not make it to segment 2 and finish out this All-Star race, that being JT Bryant. We're going to have to find out if anybody else is going to be able to get their cars repaired and at least try and limp it to the completion of stage 1. Tyler Deaver's team gets it done on pit road. He'll restart as the race leader over Daniel Gilbert, Garrett Sydnor. Cole Deaver now up to 4th. Chris Darlington, who was the leader under that caution, comes out in 5th. Restarting 6th will be Fitzwater, 7th Culpepper, Miles 8th, Kyle Matthews 9th, and Kev Shearer in 10th. You see drivers down there on the inside line lining up one lap down. Matt Haas, Kat Tellier, Matt McIntire, and Joseph Srigley. Even if they finish out this segment one lap down, as long as they are still running, they will be able to transfer into segment 2. 2 drivers, however, will not be transferring into the next segment of the All-Star race as they have retired from the race due to too much damage from that incident. And they are John Arndt and JT Bryant. So tough break for both of them. And they will finish this All-Star race 34th and 35th. So for the first time tonight, we're going to have some lap machines, some slower lap machines on the inside line, which may not be a good thing. We'll have to see what these leaders are going to be able to do. Hopefully these lap down cars will just move out of the way. I mean, if they finish, they get into the next segment. Hopefully they don't hold up any drivers that are on the lead lap. Green flag is out. Tyler Deaver gets going. Daniel Gilbert did not, and that may hurt the 4 car. He's going to get stuck at least still to the high side of Matt Haas going through turns 1 and 2. Everybody trying to traverse their way around the slower cars. You see a group of them there. Tellier, Matt McIntire, and Joseph Srigley were all trying to cluster together, stay out of everybody's way. Daniel Gilbert going to get held up by Matt Haas. That's going to Cole Deaver in a second. It's the Deaver brothers, 1-2 here at Charlotte, and Cole says, hey, I'm big brother. I want to lead this race. Chris Darlington right there trying to get back to the lead. Culpepper and Kyle Matthews. That's 3 drivers right there. The 12, 97, and 09 who transferred in, raced their way in the Hersheys shootout yesterday. And here comes Culpepper to the bottom, 3 wide for the lead on Chris Darlington and Cole Deaver. And the caution flag is out, so they're racing back to the yellow, second yellow, or make the third yellow rather, of the evening. And Culpepper will lead us under this caution flag. Oh, look out, 1 car around back there. That's Fitzwater. He just got spun by somebody and put up into the wall. He's going to be able to get going again, though, but I don't know where this incident necessarily took place. I saw some skid marks up in turns 1 and 2, so that might have been where this one took place. So we've had incidents all over the track. One out of turn 2 was our first caution, one out of turn 4 was our second, and now one in between turns 1 and 2. So Culpepper, the race leader. It doesn't look like the leaders are going to have to come to pit road this time, so apparently they have reached the fuel window and they are good to go on fuel. One car on pit road, that's the 84 of James Richardson, a former winner of the Coke 600. Let's take a look at a replay of what happened. Caution out, and we have just about 15 laps left to go in only our first segment of the All-Star race. Now here it was going into turn 1. Matt McIntire, Joseph Srigley, you see there, the 26 and the 24. The 70 of Cat Tellier, lap down cars. They created a kind of a wall back here. And, oh, Zachary Stultz going to go down on the apron. And then the car, oh, I think he was going to try and drop back, and then the car just stepped out on him. He slides up into Austin LaPlante, and LaPlante's going to get up into James Richardson. Spins those two around. I'm not certain if anybody else is going to hit them. Caitlin Sang is going to get by in the 28. I think these two are going to get away without getting hit by anybody, but Zachary Stultz, I think to be all honest, I think Stultz realized he was slower and he was going to move down and get out of the way, and the car just stepped out on him down there on the apron. There's no grip down there, and Richardson had to teleport to pit road because he couldn't refire the car. This was then under the caution. You see back there, the flagman has already waved the yellow. These drivers are going to begin slowing down for the pacing behind the pace car. Fitzwater has crossed the line around the 12th position. Now let's see what happens here. Saw him just go straight up into the wall there in turns 1 and 2. Oh, it looks like Fitzwater downshifted, and as a result, the car stepped out on him. Alvarise was all over his back bumper. And when Fitzwater went sideways, Alvarise couldn't slow up in time to get off of him. I was about to put the blame on Alvarise, but it looks like Fitzwater with downshifting, it spun the car out, and then Fitzwater stuck there on the apron. I think someone's going to hit him. I don't know who it is. It might be Sanford. It might be Seth Cole. Sanford avoids. Seth Cole avoids. Someone's going to nail him. It's going to be Zachary Stultz. Oh, and Charles Jackson going to get a piece of that as well. Oh, and Jackson's car is done. Just like that. That hit. Charles Jackson's car smoking. His evening is over. And it looks like Zachary Fitzwater, his day might be over as well. So he got clobbered there by the 86. So that's what puts us under the caution. And I think we're going to have more drivers not moving on to the final two segments of the All-Star race. That is indeed going to be the case, as we have more drivers back behind the wall after that incident, and they include Zachary Stultz, Zachary Fitzwater, and Charles Jackson. So out of the 35 drivers that started this race, 5 of them so far will not be moving on to the next round of the All-Star race. James Richardson returned back to the track after he had to teleport to pit road. He's not able to refire the race car, but he's 2 laps down, so he's just got to ride it out and try and finish out the segment. David Culpepper, the leader. Chris Dollarton, second. Third place, Kyle Matthews. Cole Deaver's in fourth. Kev Shearer, fifth. Tyler Deaver now back in sixth. Cody Smart's in seventh, with Garrett, Sydnor, Benjamin Miles, and Daniel Gilbert completing your top 10. I'm going to take a bite of my lunch as we get ready to go back green. With 13 laps to go, so not being within that 10 laps to go window, the lap car did start on the inside line again. like they're doing a pretty good job getting out of the way, though, as Chris Darlington now clears Matt Haas and now sets his sights on David Culpepper. Those drivers are non-charter drivers, so 10 bonus points for them would certainly pay out dividends. Cole Deaver, Kev Shearer. As a matter of fact, right now, the only chartered cars that are up at the front at the moment would be Benjamin Miles, Garrett Sydnor, and Kyle Matthews. Culpepper losing the lead. He's going to lose more. Deaver to second. Shearer to third. Smart into fourth. Chris Darlington out in front, but for how long? Here comes Cole Deaver. Thought he was going to make a move. Kev Shearer might have made a move, but instead Darlington holds off Cole Deaver, at least for the moment. Whoa, Cole Deaver right on the back bumper of Chris Darlington. Might be trying to get him loose as he's all over that left rear quarter panel. And now Daniel Gilbert going to move Cody Smart up to the high side. Those two bringing their rivalry over here to the All-Star race. The only two drivers so far this season with 2 wins in the Hersheys Cup Series non-charter series. All of a sudden, a couple more faces popping up here that we haven't talked about tonight. Leon Alvarise and Jessica Shelton have now cracked the top 10. It's Henry Nova back there just outside the top 10. He was involved in our first caution of the evening. 8 laps to go in only our first segment here tonight. Chris Darlington, and here comes Cole Deaver to the inside. Almost 3 wide back there. Shelton thought about making it 3 wide with Benjamin Miles and Tyler Deaver. Couldn't get to the bottom of the racetrack without going to the apron there in 1. Might make the move here into 3 though, and she will. Sticks Miles in the middle. Darlington up to the high side. Oh, and I think Darlington brushed the wall as Shelton moves to second. Sydnor moves into third. Matthews now up to fourth. And Shelton, a huge run through 1 and 2. She will take the race lead coming out of turn 2. Here comes Garrett Sydnor. Big run there on Cole Deaver. He'll move to second. Can he continue that run through 3 and 4 to maybe make a move on Shelton for the race lead? Car on pit road, that's Austin LaPlante. It's like he'll finish this segment off the lead lap, but at least if he can finish, he'll transfer into the next round. Shelton out in front, and here comes her teammate, Kyle Matthews. Side by side between the teammates out of Retro Racing Enterprises down the back straightaway. Leon Alvarise stays up high. Cole Deaver going to move low. They're 3 wide now for second as Shelton's moved up to the extreme high line. She may have brushed the wall off the corner. Tyler Deaver got a little squirrely there as now Cole Deaver is going to go for the lead off of Kyle Matthews. Gilbert now gets a nice run through 1 and 2. He's going to peek to the inside through 3 for the race lead. Cody Smart right there. Chris Darlington creeping back up to the front. As this time by, it will be 4 laps to go. And unfortunately, my ears are not deceiving me. There is a slower car up ahead. That is Caitlin Sang in the 28. Hopefully, they're going to encounter her in an area where they're not going to get held up. Oh, this is going to be bad. It's going to be right off of 2. Caitlin Sang keeps her car up high. Daniel Gilbert chose the wrong line. Kyle Matthews did not. Kyle Matthews back to the race lead. Smart to second. Darlington to third. Tyler Deaver fourth. Shelton in fifth. As now finally they're going to, well, no. Oh, trouble in the back! Cole Deaver is wrecked with Henry Nova. And this segment will more than likely end under the caution. Now, did they cross the line before the yellow flag waved is the question. It appears they did not, as they are slowing down to pick up the pace car. The caution out with 3 to go. Cole Deaver was the car I saw hit the wall head on. Henry Nova was involved as well. And it looks like Kyle Matthews will win this first segment under caution, and he will get 10 valuable points. This fastest time by at the line. It's 2 laps to go, so we're going to quickly step away, look at a replay of what put us under the caution to finish out this first segment, and then we will be right back for the checkered flag for the completion of segment 1. Well, here's what happened. We should also mention that on this lap coming out of turn 2, Garrett Sydnor slowed down, pulled to the apron, and just came to a stop on the back straightaway. But there you go. I don't know if Deaver came up or if Gilbert came down, but there goes Daniel Gilbert off the nose of Cole Deaver, and then Deaver tries coming back up the racetrack, and there's just gets into Henry Nova, and Benjamin Miles also gets collected up in this in the 25 car. Wow, Daniel Gilbert just avoided being collected in that again. Almost made contact with Henry Nova. And then look at everybody here trying to woe up. Seth Cole, Charles Sanford, Trent Dunham, McLeod, McIntosh, and Richardson all do a good job to not run each other over. So that's what brought out the caution. Now we got to see if any of these drivers are going to be able to limp it around to at least try and finish out this segment, or will they be retiring from the race entirely in the closing stages of this first segment? Well, the lights are still on top of the pace car. We will finish out this segment under caution, and Kyle Matthews will be the winner of segment 1 and will thus start on the pole for segment 2. Also, will get himself 10 valuable bonus points in the standings. And we do have a couple of drivers that are going to be out of the race and not moving on to the next segment, but not necessarily the drivers that you would expect. 2 drivers out of the race due to some mechanical issues. Austin LaPlante out of the race due to a fuel pump issue. We saw him coming to pit road, and apparently they could not get him back out on the racetrack. And for some reason, Garrett Sydnor, we talked about that he pulled down to the apron on the back straightaway and just stopped. Not exactly certain what happened with his car. He wasn't involved in a wreck when he pulled to the apron. He just lost power, it seemed, and just brought it down there, and he is out of the race as well. So he will not transfer, along with Zachary Stultz, Zachary Fitzwater, Charles Jackson, John Arndt, and JT Bryant. So 7 drivers will not move on to segment 2. Kyle Matthews will, though, and he will be the pole sitter. Cody Smart will be second, Chris Darlington third, Tyler Deaver fourth, and Jessica Shelton fifth. 10 valuable bonus points coming the way of Kyle Matthews. He will win segment number 1 here tonight in the All-Star race at Charlotte. And a number of drivers off the pace, damaged, off the lead lap. This caution that they're seeing to complete segment 1 is a godsend. They will now take the opportunity to come down pit road, get their cars repaired as well as possible, and get ready to compete for another 40-lap run in our second segment. So, we will see you guys in just a moment for our second segment race. We'll see in just a minute your finishing results from the first segment. So with segment 1 in the books, it's now time for segment 2. Another 40-lap event. And same rules as in segment 1 apply here in segment 2. 40 laps, cautions will count. If you retire from the race, you don't move on to the final segment. And the winner of this segment will receive 10 bonus points. Kyle Matthews, the winner of the first segment, gets the benefit of starting on the pole for this one. All drivers restarting where they finished segment 1 for the start here of segment 2. And this caution a godsend for a number of drivers who finished the first segment off the lead lap. Caitlin Sang, the first of those. All back on the lead lap. Sang, Parker, Srigley, Nova, Haas, all finished off the lead lap in that last segment. They're back up to speed, hopefully repaired enough to be able to maybe do something here in segment 2. And Kyle Matthews will get us underway here for our second segment of the All-Star race. That didn't take long. 3 wide in 2 different areas of the racetrack. Make it 3 different areas now. Wide around the 7th position as Kyle Matthews loses the lead. Cody Smart and Tyler Deaver actually using the high line. They'll drive around and take the top positions. Whoa, one car way up there out of the D-shaped front straightaway entrance, that being Dallas McIntosh. Might have been some contact there, I'm not certain. Cars don't normally travel up there on their lonesome without a little bit of encouragement, but then again, you never know. Tyler Deaver now will go to the point. David Culpepper will fill the hole to the inside of Cody Smart as the Fords will battle for second. Kev Shearer right there in the 4th spot, and look at this wad behind them. Culpepper getting a pretty good run through 1 and 2. He will look to the inside down the back straightaway, and he's got Kev Shearer in tow, offering a little bit of draft. Right up to the left rear of Tyler Deaver coming off 4, but cannot make the move this time at least. Entire field under a blanket. It's like everybody realizing, hey, that's too wide stuff. We don't need to be doing that yet. Let's wait till the final segment. They kind of have settled it out to double wide. Whoops. And David Culpepper will now move to the point. He's the only hope left for Young Motorsports to bring home a All-Star Race trophy as JT Bryant retired in the first segment, did not move on to segment 2. Whoa, look at this! James McLeod, 2 tires down there on the apron, was able to forge a hole to the inside of Cody Smart, and he will look for the race lead. But here comes Tim Walsh, maybe thinking about 3 wide into 3, and yes, he will make it stick. This could be treacherous up here at the front. Cody Smart gets into the wall. David Culpepper had to back out, and they keep it together, though. And Tim Walsh leading that lap as I just realized I didn't have the ticker up at the top. You got to see who was running in the battle for last for those first few laps. Talked about drivers trying to get themselves back up to speed. Well, James Richardson and Kat Tellier now have cracked the top 5. Phil Parker about to do the same. Those are drivers who finished off the lead lap after the completion of segment 1. They're now back on the lead lap, and they are up here trying to take the lead. And look who has dropped all the way to the back as this battle for the lead now between Tyler Deaver and Tim Walsh. But look who's all the way back here. Kyle Matthews, who started on the pole for this segment, and right behind him, Anthony McCrury, who started on the pole to start segment 1 as the fastest in that single car qualifying. So maybe some strategy here on the part of these two. Got some smoke lingering there on the front straightaway. I wonder if somebody took a little trip on the grass. Caitlin Sang's being bypassed awfully quickly there. I wonder if maybe it was her. Whoever it was, they kept it straight. We're still going, and we're still green as Tim Walsh trying to wrestle that lead away from Tyler Deaver. Matt McIntire right there with him. And yeah, I think somebody may have gone through the grass and everybody got wadded up from about Trent Dunham on back. Got a group up front here, and then a second group behind them, now led by James McLeod. Matt McIntire, who got spun in the first segment, now out in front out of turn number 4, and he'll lead this lap. Charles Sanford now going to maybe try and take that spot. Not quite going to be able to get to the inside here into 1. As a matter of fact, he's going to get put in the middle 3 wide. Henry Nova now driving down to the bottom. And as these drivers race 3 wide up here, you can see McLeod and Cole and Dunham in that second group. They have caught back up to this front group. Everybody's back together again. Whoa, Tim Walsh in the wall. And there goes Sanford. Sanford hard into the wall. Walsh in the wall. Phil Parker up in the air. And they're still wrecking back there. Oh boy, this is going to be a lot of drivers out of the race after this one. Poteet's in it. Culpepper, Gilbert, Shelton, McCrury. I think Matthews has got damage. I don't think there's anybody back here that doesn't have damage. Rear end damage on Daniel Olson. There is Poteet. There is Leon Alvarise, Joseph Srigley, Cole Deaver. I think Alvarise might have been going after Poteet. Chris Darlington, I think, was collected. Tyler Deaver's on pit road, as is Sanford. And the leader, Matt McIntire, waiting for the pace car here. Now the pace car passes him, and now he can come to pit road. Everybody going to come to pit lane here. Those are like the lucky four that got through. McIntosh, or McIntire rather. Nova, McLeod, and McIntosh. And then there's everybody else back there who got involved, I think, in one way or another. We're under caution. Once again, first time here in the second segment. And I believe the fourth time overall tonight in the All-Star race. Let's take a look at a replay. Well, you just knew. You just knew it was a matter of time. And there you got right there. Tim Walch gets into the wall. And he comes down into the right rear of Charles Sanford, turns him around. There's where Richardson's going to get collected. Look at Phil Parker through the grass there on the right side of your screen. Oh, whoa! Phil Parker flying. What? He just bounced up into the air and then right in front of Seth Cole. There's Tyler Deaver, Dylan Poteet, and Kat Tellier. Left side of your screen. Right side of your screen, Gilbert, Deaver, Dunham, and Culpepper. Then center stage there is Shelton getting clobbered. Benjamin Miles. Srigley runs into the Cody Smart machine. McCrury's into the back of, I think that was Kyle Matthews. Caitlin Sang trying to come to a halt. Chris Darlington's facing the wrong way. As you see further up here at the front of your screen, there's Poteet, Parker. Oh, Culpepper's going to get into Tim Walsh. Waiting for the dust to clear. Alvarise, you can see there. Daniel Olson. I don't really think there was anybody back here that didn't get damaged from this wreck in one way or another. We're going to take one more look at the Phil Parker thing. I mean, this is crazy. Check out this little glitch. Goes down, hits right there, car leaves the racing surface, and then watch this. Seth Cole, surprise, right down in front of him, and man, oh wow. That was a violent hit by Dylan Poteet. That car just shot back off the safer barrier. Well, like I said, I don't think there's going to be a whole heck of a lot of drivers left to race it out in the final 20 lap segment. We're going to have to see who's going to be able to continue and who isn't. Big, big wreck taking place here in this second segment of the All-Star race. Getting ready to go back green flag racing on lap 15 of 40. And now comes the telling tale. 7 drivers did not move on even into this segment after retiring after segment 1. Or before segment 1 ended, I should say. Let's see who is not going to be moving on to the final segment of this All-Star race. And they include David Culpepper, Trent Dunham, Jessica Shelton, Leon Alvarise, Dylan Poteet, Charles Sanford, Tyler Deaver, Tim Walsh, and Cody Smart. So we can give you a full field rundown because basically only 19 drivers are still running and all 19 are still in the lead lap. Matt McIntire is the race leader. James McLeod second, Henry Nova third, Dallas McIntosh in fourth. Those 4 were basically the only ones that got through the wreck without any damage whatsoever. Seth Cole restarts 5th, teammate Matt Haas in 6th, Kev Shearer is 7th, 8th Daniel Olson, 9th will be Caitlin Sang, and Benjamin Miles is now 10th, 11th Anthony McCrury, 12th is James Richardson, 13th Cole Deaver, 14th Chris Darlington, 15th Phil Parker, despite going to the moon, 16th will be Pat Tellier, 17th Kyle Matthews, Joseph Srigley, 18th, and the last car running, still with a chance of getting into the final segment of the All-Star race, will be Daniel Gilbert. So lap 15 is when we go back green, 26 laps to go, 19 cars. You think maybe they're going to settle it down and just ride these final laps of this segment just to make it into the final segment? Hopefully, maybe. Probably not. Why? Because there's 10 valuable bonus points on the line. That's why. Nova going to drive to the inside, and now we're going to get the telling tale of drivers that got any damage, how it's affecting their race cars performance-wise here for this segment anyway. Whoa, goodness, they were almost 3 wide in a terrible section again there with Benjamin Miles and company, but they keep it together. My lunch bill, which is highly unprofessional, but I'm hungry. As it's going to be a battle for the lead. Well, nope. Give it to Matt Haas going through 3 and 4. Furniture Row Racing is now 1-2. As Seth Cole moves into the second position behind his teammate Matt Haas. Nova now looking for second place off of Caitlin Sang. And based on drivers I'm seeing that are not up at the tail end of the field due to receiving damage from that latest incident, something tells me if this thing goes green to the end, these leaders may end up encountering a few of those drivers, which could play a huge factor into who may end up getting those 10 valuable bonus points for winning this segment of the All-Star Race event. Right now, Matt Haas watching the battle going on for second behind him. Nova side by side with Seth Cole. Now Nova gets a run through turn 2, and he has thoughts about challenging for the lead, but he can't quite get there. On the Furniture Row Toyota. Well, maybe now he will. Matt Haas slipped up a little there in 3, and that allows Nova to get to the inside. And believe it or not, I think they're starting to catch that traffic I was speaking of just moments ago. That might be 4 of Daniel Gilbert. Yes, it is. We're running in the 19th position. He can fall a lap down as long as he's still running, and he will still be in the main event. Oh, boy. Oh, that wadded him up big time. Gilbert still holding him up. Some lines got to move. They're going to split him on the high side, and now they're going to split him low, and Kev Shearer is going to be the one caught in the wrong place. He's stuck behind the 4 car. Now the inside line's going to move. Henry Nova moves into second as Matt Haas is gone as a result of that. Another car he'll have to deal with up ahead, the 24 of Joseph Srigley. Gonna try to go to the outside, and oh, Srigley just squeezed him into the wall. Whoa! I think that Haas surprised Srigley by trying to go to the outside line, and he almost wrecked the race leader. Nova and Cole and McIntosh, they got around Srigley pretty well. And these 3 about to reel Matt Haas in very fast. Got McLeod, Olson, McIntire, and Parker back there as well. 5th through 8th trying to catch up, and just like that, Matt Haas had a huge lead. It is gone. He's all the way back now to 4th going into turn 3. He may not even keep that, as here comes that other group of McLeod, Olson, and McIntyre. So Nova out in front. Here comes Seth Cole diving to the inside line. That one driver who really used those 10 bonus points. That guy right there, Dallas McIntosh, running way down in the point stands outside the top 30 in points. He could really use a big run here tonight and some valuable bonus points to get himself out of the cellar of the point standings. And while there's a little bit of a lull in this battle for the lead, I'm going to take another bite of my sandwich. laps to go here in our second segment of the All-Star race. Looks like a grenade has gone off. Fragments everywhere around the racetrack. Field very much split up. Technically 5 drivers up here in this lead group that have a chance of maybe winning this thing. Phil Parker, Matt Haas, Toyotas have lost touch, as has Matt McIntire, back in 6th, 7th, and 8th. Another car they'll have to deal with up ahead. You saw it on the back straightaway shot the last lap. I couldn't tell who it was, though. Until this time, and it looks like it might be Daniel Gilbert in that 4 car again. But we know he played havoc with the leaders the last time they encountered him. Exactly who it is. Fortunately, they're going to catch him here on the front straightaway. But Henry Nova never lift on that outside line. And Seth Cole's going to get moved on the high side by James McLeod. McLeod will go to the race lead now. Just like that, that just picked it up for Matt Haas, possibly Phil Parker. They are going to catch up here now and maybe be in the conversation for this win. Matt McIntire there as well. Maybe because they were battling now up here in this front group. Might have heard another car up ahead. I don't know for certain. Didn't see anything there off of 2. See on the back straightaway if there is another car they're catching. Nope, nothing. They're all clear down to 3. So right there in your shot are basically the drivers that are going to battle it out for those 10 bonus points here in the winning of the second stage. McLeod, McIntyre, Seth Cole, Daniel Olson, Henry Nova, Matt Haas, and Phil Parker. 4 non-chartered cars, 3 chartered machines. The 51 of McLeod, the 14 of McIntosh, and the 78 of Matt Haas. Seth Cole all by his lonesome on the bottom. 2 cars against 1 car prevailing for the moment, and now McIntosh switches lanes on McLeod, and he will help Seth Cole get enough of a run for 3 and 4 and be able to take the lead coming out of turn 4 and receiving the 10 laps to go mark. Which means if a caution came out at this point, and restarts would be single file with no lap traffic on the inside line. Seth Cole about to have company in the form of his teammate, Matt Haas. We'll see what the 2 Toyota Camry teammates out of Virgin Road Racing will do with each other here. One a non-chartered driver, the other a chartered driver. Which driver wants the 10 bonus points more? And if they race each other hard, that might be an opportunity for Henry Nova, James McLeod, Daniel Olson, Phil Parker, Dallas McIntosh, or Matt McIntire to be able to strike and capitalize and steal some bonus points away. Here comes Nova. Nova's going to split up. The teammates drop Matt Haas back. And now with James McLeod kind of almost pushing him around the track, Nova might have a run into turn 1 here on Cole. Drove it down deep there through the center of the corner. Can he get to the left rear? Not this time. Might try again here into 3. Whoa, McLeod throwing the block on Matt Haas, also getting to the inside for second off of Henry Nova. Bold move there by McLeod. If he had made that move just a tick later, he probably would have been spinning down into turn 3. Another slower car up ahead to contend with. That's Julian Alvarise. Nope, that's Daniel Gilbert again. And they're going to catch him here on the back straightaway, and everybody's going to be smart and move single file, going by on the inside line. McLeod, if he had enough of a run, he might have been able to have stuck Seth Cole to the outside and kind of used the 4 as a pick. Noticing McLeod not able to really get up to the back bumper of the 79, and a reason might be if you watch him on some of these lower angles, he has some right side damage. That might be hindering him being able to get enough of a suck up, enough of a run to be able to make a move up against that left rear quarter panel to try and draw Seth Cole back to him. As Matt Haas now moves into second place, and it's 5 laps to go here in this segment. Drivers running at the back, just riding it out, biding their time, waiting to going to transfer into the 20-lap finishing segment. These drivers up here, they're battling for 10 points in the championship standings. Nova now to second. McIntosh side by side with Matt Haas for third. Second, third, fourth doesn't mean anything except a second, third, fourth starting spot in the final segment. They're all racing for the win here. That's the only position that gets any bonus points from this segment. Daniel Olson now moves into fourth. McLeod into fifth as Matt Haas drifts back now to the sixth position. Nova all over the back bumper of Seth Cole. When does he make his move? Oh, he's trying. Seth Cole just pinches it down there. Doesn't allow Nova to get enough of a racing line there out of four. And now Nova's going to pay for it. Here comes McIntosh for the second position. Two and a half laps to go as they go down the back straightaway. Seth Cole out in front, McIntosh in second. It's Toyota, Chevy, Honda, Dodge, Toyota, Chevy, Toyota, Buick up here in this top 8. Another slow car up ahead with 2 laps to go. Could be the difference maker. Don't know who it was. Maybe we'll be able to tell here on the back straightaway. We may not even catch that car before this is over. As now Matt Haas, boy, he moves up, he drifts back. He moves up, he drifts back. He moves up again, and he's got a shot at his teammate here. White flag will be displayed, this time by Seth Cole showing the way. Teammate Matt Haas in second. McLeod third, Nova fourth. McLeod going to drive it down for second on Haas. Haas is going to slip up a little there. Does he allow McLeod to get alongside? Yes, he does. And that may be it. Seth Cole heading through turns 3 and 4. That traffic ahead they will not encounter before the start-finish line. Seth Cole will not only start on the pole for the final segment, he will win segment 2. 10 valuable bonus points go to the 79. Segment 2 complete. Seth Cole is the winner. Matt Haas will hang on for second, so it's a 1-2 finish for the Furniture Row teammates in this second segment. McLeod third, fourth for Nova, McIntosh fifth. Those will be your top 5 starters for our final 20-lap segment of the evening. Daniel Gilbert finishes, I think it was 3-4 laps down, but he'll still be taking part, still on the lead lap in the final segment. But we do have a number of other drivers that are not so lucky, got involved in that big wreck near the beginning of this second segment and will not be moving on to the final segment. It looks like it'll be 19 cars that will finish out this all-star race out of an original 35. We'll show you now the finish results here from segment 2 and get ready now for our final 20-lap segment 3. So here we go then. It's all led to this, our final segment of the All-Star race, and I believe I said 19 drivers would be moving on to this, but it's actually only 18 drivers, so a 1 in 18 chance for one of these drivers to pick up the All-Star race win for the first time in their career. It's an all Furniture Row racing front row. Seth Cole, who won segment 2 alongside his teammate Matt Haas. Then you got James McLeod and Henry Nova, Dallas McIntosh, Matt McIntire, Phil Parker, Daniel Olson, Caitlin Sang, Kev Shearer, then Darlington and Tellier, Miles and McCrury, Richardson and Matthews, Cole Deaver, and Daniel Gilbert. Those are the drivers that still have a chance of winning this All-Star race. Here we go. Final 20-lap segment of the All-Star race is green. Just to put it in perspective, technically only half of our field is left here for this final segment of the All-Star race. We had 35 drivers to start, only 18 remain as Matt Haas with a big run down the back straightaway. A nice run off of 2, and he will check out with the race lead. The battle right now is on for second place. James McLeod trying to take it away from Seth Cole. Deaver and James Richardson hanging back just a little bit here. Just because there's only 18 cars in this field doesn't mean they're not going to race it up, and we may not see a wreck take place in this segment. As McLeod now into second, and now he sets his sights on Matt Haas for that top position. Battle for third behind him, Phil Parker, Chris Darlington, Benjamin Miles, and Dallas McIntosh as McLeod continues to reel in that Toyota Camry. Darlington is now moving into third. Benjamin Miles moves to fourth. A couple of stragglers back there at the rear of the field. Kev Shearer, James Richardson, and Kat Tellier. They apparently feel that this 20-lap segment will not go without a yellow flag. They could well be right. Right now, things not nearly as aggressive as we've seen them in the last two segments, but we start getting down to about 10 to go, I think these guys are going to ramp it up another notch as Chris Darlington will move by for that second position off of McLeod, and he's going to bring the Ford of Anthony McCrury along with him. McCrury winning the Daytona 500 this season. We've never had a driver in any series in NNSCRA win the Daytona 500 and the All-Star race in the same year. Anthony McCrury trying to become the first, as now he will move to the inside on Chris Darlington as they continue to battle for second. That's allowing Matt Haas to be able to control the draft and be able to stay out in front. But now Anthony McCrury may be clear of this battle now that's on for third between McLeod and Darlington, and McCrury may be getting ready to set his sights on the race lead. Caitlin Sang has now moved up into fifth, and now she'll look for fourth on Chris Darlington. What a way it would be for her to start off the second half of the regular season as a chartered ride with an all-star race victory. But meanwhile, Matt Haas showing the way, but he's going to have to hold off one of the best in the business. Former Hersheys Cup Series champion, the defending Daytona 500 winner, Anthony McCrury in that dishonored Ford. McCrury's going to get the run here through 3 and 4. He may be able to make the move here down into turn 1. Gonna step out? No, not this time. Remains in the tire tracks of Matt Haas for the moment. Peeking here through 2, though. Can't quite get to the left rear quarter panel. If he's gonna make the move, he's gonna have to make it quick because he's got a fast closing James McLeod there in that third position. McCrury gonna try. Can't do it this time. McLeod might peek out of line for second, and he will. So any challenge McCrury might have had on Matt Haas is gone, as McLeod will take the second position, at least try to. McCrury trying to battle back on the high side, and you can see how right there with McLeod side by side with McCrury, it almost was if McLeod reached out, grabbed McCrury, and pulled him back. And you see the gap now, about 2 car lengths, that Matt Haas has again over this battle for second place. McCrury needed to make the move for the lead much sooner than when McLeod caught up to him, and that's what may have cost him a shot at maybe winning this race. Who knows? Battle for second now as Chris Darlington is all over the back bumper of Caitlin Sang, and Sang will now move down and take that second spot. The field is spread out here quite a bit. You got about maybe 8 cars, 9 cars up in this lead group. Henry Nova and Kyle Matthews trying to keep in touch. Cole Deaver's lost the draft, as has Dallas McIntosh and Daniel Olson. So they may be out of it unless we have ourselves a caution flag here within the next couple of laps. Matt Haas, though, continuing to show the way. Caitlin Sang is going to be able to hold off Anthony McCrury, who had a good run down the back straight, at least for the moment, to hang on to second place. McCrury now in third. McCrury has a strong race car, though. He fought his way up to Matt Haas's back bumper once already, and now he's going to try it again as he's going to try and take that second spot away from Caitlin Sang. He will do so, and he closes up the gap between himself and Matt Haas in the same turn, turns 1 and 2. In a big run down the back straightaway, he may be able to get a run here into 3 and 4, and I bet this time he will not wait to make the move on the front straightaway if he gets a run. Here he comes. Is he going to be able to make a move here into turn 1? He doesn't seem to be close enough. Caitlin Sang following right in his tire tracks. McCrury gonna try and peek low here out of 2. He doesn't do it. That may cost him. Caitlin Sang, will she peek out of line for second? They remain single file going down here into 3 and 4. Oh my goodness, this is close between the left rear quarter panel and the right front of McCrury and Haas. They still keep it together, and here comes Darlington. Darlington to the inside for third place off of Caitlin Sang. So McCrury, with a little bit of a reprieve, still has a shot at maybe being able to make a move on Matt Haas. He keeps trying to get it just about a half groove lower there out of turn 2, but it doesn't allow him to get enough of a run off the exit to get to that left rear quarter panel. He is right there, but he just can't seem to make the move. He might be able to do something here on the front straightaway if he got a good enough exit off of 4. Can he jump to the inside here in 1? No, not this time. He's not going to be able to. He may try in the middle of the corner. That seems to be where his car is a little bit better. He's able to turn down in the center of the corner, but he just can't get the run off of either turns 2 or 4. Both these drivers, former winners this season. Both these drivers, their wins coming at restrictor plate tracks. McCrury at Daytona, Matt Haas at Talladega. Both of them want to win the All-Star race, but if they don't hurry up and figure out what's going to be going on here, they're going to have a host of other competitors for this win. McLeod, Caitlin Sang, Chris Darlington, Daniel Gilbert, and Matt McIntire are all up here in this lead group. And they may have something to say about this win before all is said and done. McLeod with a big run the front straightaway. McCrury's peeking, and McCrury's going to make the move. First time McCrury peeks out. Let's see if he can hold it down here into turn 1. He almost faked Matt Haas out like, I'm not going to do it. No, wait a minute, I changed my mind, I am. And it will be McCrury to the lead, but here comes Caitlin Sang. She's going to try and take the lead, can't do it. She's going to battle for second with Matt Haas. Chris Darlington offering drafting help back there for Caitlin Sang. James McLeod up on the outside line with Matt Haas. 4 laps to go. McCrury now out in front. And we mentioned that Anthony McCrury has won a Coca-Cola 600 here in the Hersheys Cup Series, so he knows how to get around Charlotte and he knows how to defend that top spot. Let's see if he can hold off the hard charges of everyone else behind him. Chris Darlington, it's like he doesn't really want to have to stick behind Caitlin Sang. He thought about moving wide down the back straightaway there. Nobody there to help him. He didn't have a good enough run. And as they remain side by side for second, just like Matt Haas was enjoying it before, Anthony McCrury's got to be loving it right now. Get Darlington 2 tires down the apron. He's going to get to the inside of Caitlin Sang for the second position. James McLeod running right behind him. Daniel Gilbert in the mix. Gilbert almost thought about sticking McLeod in the middle 3 wide. Caitlin Sang will tuck back in front of Chris Darlington. Hang on to second place, at least for the moment. 2 laps to go here at Charlotte in the All-Star race. Darlington drives it to the bottom for second place on Caitlin Sang. And maybe up to Darlington to see if he's going to make a move for the race lead, potentially the race win. McLeod side by side now with Caitlin Sang, as it will be the white flag this time. It's McCrury, Darlington, McLeod, then Matt Haas battling with Caitlin Sang. Will Darlington be able to make a move on McCrury here with the white flag being displayed? Darlington doesn't make a move this time. He still remains behind McCrury. He's going to maybe try and make a move here through the center of the corner. Can he make a move into 3? It's his last chance. Will Darlington go to the bottom and try and pass McCrury? Into the corner they go. Darlington tries to get the run. He tries to get to the left rear quarter panel. He might be able to. He's alongside. Drag race between McCrury and Darlington, and McCrury will get it by about half a car length, winning the All-Star race here in Season 4. Well, give Darlington credit. I don't think there was any other better place for him to try and make the move, but I think what kind of hurt him was the fact being on the inside line of that front straightaway, you have to lift a little bit more. McCrury was able to be in that middle to high groove coming off of turn 4, which gave him more of a direct, straight, full throttle path to the start-finish line. 1/10 of a second, McCrury beats Darlington by, but Darlington almost was able to get it. Let's jump back and see how close that was with another camera angle, because that was a photo finish of about maybe half a car length. So there you see right there, Darlington was almost alongside before they got to that little crux there of the first segment of the D-shaped front straightaway and had to lift, and that's why he lost a little bit of ground there. It may have also been because Matt Haas kind of jumped ship, went up to the high side, and that may have given a little bit more extra boost to Anthony McCrury. But there you have it, right there. Yeah, actually, it wasn't even half a car length. It was almost a car length, the win that McCrury got over Darlington. It looked closer from that other camera angle. But Anthony McCrury now becomes the only driver in Hersheys Cup Series history to have a Daytona 500 victory, a Coca-Cola 600 victory, a Hersheys Cup Series championship, and now a Hersheys Cup Series All-Star Race win. Take nothing away from Chris Darlington. That's a go-or-go-home driver that raced his way in via the Hersheys shootout, and he's going to come away with second. A solid outing for him. How about Matt Haas? Great run for him. He almost looked like he was going to win this thing, but couldn't hold off McCrury. Caitlin Sang, a great run for her in fourth place, so a top 5 in the All-Star race to begin the second half of the regular season as a chartered ride, and James McLeod will get a top 5 in fifth. Daniel Gilbert comes home sixth. Matt McIntire 7th, Henry Nova 8th, Philip Parker in 9th, and Benjamin Miles will complete the top 10 as you look down through the remainder of the drivers who finished it out in the final segment of this All-Star race. So that's going to do it here for our All-Star race weekend, but we are not done with Charlotte Motor Speedway. Next week, we are going to be coming back here to this mile and a half as we get ready for Hersheys Cup Series non-charter race, Pizza Hut X Series racing, and Hersheys Cup Series main event racing, as we are now going to begin the long road, the chase towards the chase for the championship. Hope you will tune in for all those races. Thanks for tuning in to this All-Star race. If you enjoyed it, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to become part of the crew today. We will see you guys for Charlotte Race Weekend next week, as you've been watching a production of the NCRA Offline Racing at its best.